When it comes to awesome design, Apple is the first company I can think of. Their products, their graphics, their website, everything is just so aesthetic yet perfectly balanced. And so I wanted to see if I could recreate some of Apple's website inside of Gohighlevel. Let me show you what I was able to come up with. So the first section I'm going to show you how to create is this one right here. I'm going to go ahead and show you step by step, but the first thing is going to be adding this text. So I'm going to create a new element. It's going to be a full section, full width, and it's gonna have one column, which is gonna be the text. So it's gonna be a headline. I'm just gonna copy paste the text. We're gonna make sure that it looks the exact same as the one on the website. And I feel like this text looks a tiny bit small, so I'm just gonna make it bigger. Let's say 50. Now the next thing is gonna be the color. I think the color on the website is slightly lighter. And then the next thing is gonna be adding another column, which is gonna be the main photo. So I'm gonna add the text on this side. It's gonna be aligned to the center. That's just how they have it. And then it's gonna be a small sub headline that is gonna say privacy, that's an iPhone. And then let's just double check one more thing. Yeah, there's way more space, so we can just change it, no problem. It's gonna be like 20. The next thing is gonna be this section here is supposed to be round, so it's gonna be border, full border, and then we're gonna make it 20x. So 20, it's gonna have those round corners as you can see here. And then the next thing I'm gonna do is add some padding. So let's say it's like 40 and then 40 as well. Now we can remove the border color, so it's gonna be transparent. But what we are gonna do is add a background photo. So this photo is like, I created like a similar photo to the one I found on Apple. It's just somebody, like a random person I found holding an iPhone. And then we're just gonna do, instead of full center, it's just gonna be full center. And then this text is gonna be white. And then this right here is also gonna be white as well. So we're getting closer. It still needs a bit of work, but this is looking pretty close to what it is. So this needs definitely more padding. So I'm gonna just make it bigger. Yeah, that's looking pretty good as it is. And so the next thing that I'm gonna do is add a button. So for buttons, I'm gonna add it right here, and then they have it as blue, so we can just change the color. And then it's not gonna be squared, it's gonna be round. So I'm just gonna do, let's say 20. Now we don't want the background to be green, of course, and I'm gonna give it a bit of spacing as well. Let's call it 20. So one thing that I noticed is ours have too much margin on the sides, which we can fix. That's not an issue. So what I'm gonna do is click on this green section, and then I'm gonna do allow rows to take the entire width, and then I'm just gonna fix the length of it. So if I click on this one, we don't want it to be 100%, we want it to be, let's say 90. And then this one, we're gonna do the same thing. So instead of full width, we're just gonna do 90. And so this is what this section looks like compared to Apple, which I think is pretty close. Of course, the image they have is way better. This is just a quick photo that I found online, but you can make the sections kind of look similar. The next section I'm gonna build is this one right here. So let me show you how I would build it. So let's add a column, and then I'm gonna add the text. So it's just this text right here. So for that, I can just duplicate this one that I have here, which is like probably the same size, very similar one. So I can just drag and drop. So I can slide it down and then bring it to where I want it to be. And then I'm just gonna change it to significant others. The next thing I'm gonna do is add this section right here, which is gonna be quick FAQ, and then the photo on the other side. So it's gonna be 2 columns next to each other. So I'm gonna add here a 2 column section. On this one, we're gonna have an FAQ, and then on this side, I'm gonna have a photo. And again, I'm gonna make this the rounded edges, so it's gonna be full border. Then to make it round, I'm gonna do 20x radius, which is what we did in the previous one. I'm gonna do transparent again, but then what I'm gonna do is change the background color to be like a light gray, so much better. So this is how we're gonna create this gray right here. And then the next thing is gonna be adding the actual FAQ. Now that that's done, I just want to make sure that this is in bold, so we can just turn it into bold, which is fine. And then this one right here as well. There we go. So that's pretty close. As you'll notice, there's a bit of margin on the left side as well, so I can just add it. So padding, it's gonna be 40. I feel like 40 is gonna be good enough, and then I'm gonna do 40 on both sides just so it's even. So that's pretty close. And then the next thing is gonna be adding our graphic. So I don't have Apple's graphic, of course, so I'm just gonna add one of my older graphics that I have here. So graphic is there. That section is looking pretty close to this one. Of course, here we have a different type of graphic, but I used one of the graphics that we have. One thing that you can do as well is you'll notice the photo is way bigger than the FAQ, and how you can do this is by dragging and sliding the 2 sections. So as you see, we can make this photo bigger, and then the FAQ gets smaller. So let's just compare it. We have this section right here, and then this is what we were able to come up with. So I think it looks close enough. Of course, the graphics are going to change based on what you're doing, but but you could have an FAQ on this side, you could have a cool graphic on this side. Maybe we can change the graphics just to show you, but that section looks close enough. And just to show you what it would look like with a different graphic, let's say we wanted to have a laptop, something else, this is what it would look like. So the next section we're gonna try to recreate is this one right here. So it's like a product section, but it could be anything. Let's say you're selling services, whatever it is. Just an awesome way to showcase 4 things side by side, comparing it, you know, if you have a high-end product, lower-end product, if you're selling different services at different price points, this could be an awesome section. So let's do it in Gohighlevel. Same thing we're gonna do again, full row, 1 column, and it's gonna be the headline. So we've already created this headline right here, so I can just duplicate it and I'm gonna slide it down. Now in this scenario, it's gonna be centered to align to the middle. The next thing is going to be adding another column, but instead it's going to be 4 columns. We're going to have a photo in each of these, which is going to be the AirPods. So I'm going to add a photo. Once I click on it, I can just upload my photos. So I'm just going to add the photos one by one. Okay, so I've added my photos and this is what it looks like right now. Once we've added the photos, the next thing is going to be adding this text right here. So AirPods 2nd generation, the price, and then a button. So what I've done is added it to one of them, and then I'm going to show you a cool trick to save you some time as well. So once you have this one built out, you can duplicate it and then you're gonna change the photo to the next one. So this one, I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna change it to the actual photo that belongs here. So let's say it's this one right here, and then I can just delete this section, and then the last thing is just fixing the text. So this one is gonna be the 3rd generation, and then the price is gonna be slightly higher, $229. We're gonna do this a couple more times, so I'm gonna duplicate this and then I'm gonna swap the photo. So this photo, again, I'm gonna change it. Let's say this was the 3rd generation, I have no idea. Let's just say it was this one. Let's just change it to this random photo that I found, and then I'm gonna delete it, and then let's say this is the AirPods Pro. I'm just changing the text, fixing it, and then we're gonna do this one last time. Okay, so this is what this section looks like in the Apple website. Now let's compare it to the one I just built. I think it looks pretty close. We could mess around with the margins, make it look even more similar, but I think it looks super clean, super aesthetic, and we have all the functionality that we need. 4 different products side by side, different price points, and it's just an awesome way to display it, super clean, and the design is just awesome. So there it is. That's 3 ways I was able to replicate Apple's sections within Gohighlevel, which I think looks awesome. If you're looking for a Gohighlevel website, you want to save yourself the trouble of building it, designing it, the Photoshop, the coding, all that stuff, you can check out my website templates in the link in bio. These are super high-end websites that could be upwards of $3,000-$4,000, but you can just get them for a fraction of the price. As always, I'll see you on my next video.